All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started on Chin Check Radio, we have been stating for the last maybe 6 months or so that we want to send you all our well wishes during this current pandemic of COVID-19. We know that it's the uncertainty that fuels our anxiety with everything that's going on. And we've been saying that for us to continue to practice the proper safety measures, whether it's washing our hands, social distancing, wearing our masks out in public, because this disease is very real. And it really has come to a head last week where some reality has set in from the President of the United States, Donald Trump, contracted COVID-19, to quarterback Cam Newton of the New England Patriots, to the backup quarterback or the practice squad quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs contracting COVID-19, as well as numerous Tennessee Titans players and staff contracted COVID-19. So this is really a reminder, folks, that we are not out of the woods yet. I know we want our lives to get back to some level of normalcy, but right now, until they come up with a cure or vaccine, we still must do what we have to do. Now, if you want to take this on a political route, they've been giving President Trump, and I can't pronounce the medicine that begins with an R. They said he's responding to it very well. So maybe it'll eventually come to the regular people. You know, when you have the commander-in-chief, this is crossing political ideologies and political lines and party lines. It's just saying you have a commander-in-chief. They're definitely going to get the best medical care. So they've been prescribing this medicine to him that he's been taking. Hopefully that's some of that. It shows that it works. There may be a year from now they'll pass it on to us common folk. But folks, remember, we're not out of the woods yet. Let's continue to do what we have to do. And these recent positive tests in the NFL shows that we are not out of the woods yet. And it's something that we have commended the players for wanting to play during this very stressful time. And from Chin Check Radio, we want to send all the aforementioned players and even the president, again, this is going past party lines, we want to send everybody our well wishes for a speedy recovery, and we hope that they get well soon. Also, we want to continue to thank you all for your tremendous support. We definitely get a lot of feedback from our broadcast, and people love what we talk about. They love our energy. They love our passion. Some people agree with a lot of what we're saying. Some people don't agree with what we're saying, and that's okay. That's the point of these programs. So we're going to jump right into the Dallas Cowboys Week 4 against the Cleveland Browns at home, the first of a 3-game home stretch. And the Dallas Cowboys lost 49-38. And there's a whole lot to digest and a whole lot to unpack. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 41 of 58, 502 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Running back Ezekiel Elliott, 12 carries, 54 yards, 1 fumble. Amari Cooper, 12 catches, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. Rookie sensation CeeDee Lamb, 5 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. I believe his first 2 touchdowns of the year. Wide receiver Dalton Schultz, who's playing very admirably in place of the injured Blake Jarwin, 4 catches, 72 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Ezekiel Elliott, 8 catches, 71 yards. On the defensive side, Donovan Wilson, 10 total tackles, 6 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. And another rookie sensation, Trayvon Diggs, 8 total tackles, 4 solo, and 1 sack. Folks, there's a lot to say about this game. And the Dallas Cowboys made another damn near miraculous comeback. But you know how we feel on Chin Check Radio. When you have to make a miraculous comeback, we must examine the reasons why you must make the comeback, and we have to examine the reasons why you were so down behind or why you had to come from behind in the first place. Folks, the Dallas Cowboys at one point were up 14-7. Let me say this again. They were up 14-7. And you thought the Cowboys had all the momentum on their side. But before we break down to where the wheels fell off, I'm going to get on the defensive side in a little bit. Well, start getting on the defensive side. On the very first touchdown that Jarvis Landry threw to Odell Beckham that put the Browns up 7-0. Defensive end Everson Griffin was blocked by quarterback Baker Mayfield. And I like how Daryl Johnson called it out on the replay, where clearly Everson Griffin saw the play developing. And I don't know if he stopped, if he expected Jarvis Landry to run, but Baker Mayfield is in front of a defensive end and Pro Bowl and former All-Pro defensive end. Everson Griffin, you should have taken Baker Mayfield and body slammed him about your way. That's what you should have done. So we're going to call it out right now. You should not have been blocked by a quarterback. Again, you should not have a quarterback standing in front of your way. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you thought that if there was no pass available, that Jarvis Landry could have the potential to run with the ball. And obviously he's faster than you, so you probably had to pick and choose your angle. But you take the quarterback who's standing in front of you, who's now is not a defensive player. He's not in the pocket. He's not a defensive receiver. He is acting as a blocker. You take that quarterback, turn him upside down, and see what falls out of his pockets. Just throw it out there on that first touchdown pass where the Browns were up 7-0. So the Cowboys, again, they were up 14-7. Now, the tide started to turn with a strip sack by Myles Garrett, who's slowly becoming one of my favorite players. So, Myles Garrett working on the rookie undrafted right tackle still due to the loss of La'el Collins, and we tweeted about this, where La'el Collins is now going to miss the remainder of the season because he's going to have hip surgery, and it's clearly going to hurt the offensive line. And this guy still, he's doing well, but you're going against Myles Garrett, and it really was a mismatch. And Myles Garrett already had one sack early in the game, had a strip sack. Dak Prescott, poor pocket awareness. He loses the football. The Browns turned right around. They scored a touchdown. They were up 21-14. The very next possession, Ezekiel Elliott fumbles the ball. After a nice 22 or 24-yard run, he fumbles the football. Browns take it right back. Now they're up 28-14. Ezekiel Elliott has had a little bit of fumbleitis this season. I don't know what's going on. He's running better, I think, but he's fumbling the football. So there's something there, not gripping the ball properly. But I'm not going to pay a running back that type of cheddar, and he's fumbling the ball every other game. So that's a problem. And again, the Browns took those 2 turnovers, scored 2 touchdowns. Now you're up 28-14. And again, you're playing Odell Beckham, who has had some of his best games against the Dallas Cowboys. Think of that famous catch, even though they lost that game. But that was the game that put Odell Beckham on the map. I go back to 2016. Dak Prescott's rookie season. They travel to Giant Stadium. The defense played well. The lone touchdown was given up to one Odell Beckham. So the Cowboys clearly have history with ODB. I know that in the season it wasn't shown that he was playing all that great with this man, but the man is still explosive, as evidenced by that final touchdown reverse that Aldon Smith missed a tackle when he took it 50 some yards to the house, which sealed the game. Folks, at one point, the Cowboys were down 41-14. Now, let's go back to quarterback Dak Prescott. Had an excellent first quarter. Pretty much did nothing in the second, third, led a furious comeback, which is where the majority of those yards come from. So again, you're going to look at it and say that Dak Prescott, he finished up with the day with 502 passing yards, but a lot of those yards, probably at least about 2, if not 300 of them, were when you were really behind and you're playing catch up. So again, I can't keep looking past the fact that, yes, they might have the #1 offense statistically, but did anybody watch that game and really feel like they were a #1 offense? No, they were not. I keep hearing how Ezekiel Elliott is trying to make himself a better pass-catching running back. I don't know why the hell you have to worry about making him a better pass-catching running back, because he's a running back and you have all this talent. You have Amari Cooper, first-round pick. You have CeeDee Lamb, first-round pick, and Michael Gallup is also a nice addition. So you pretty much have the top 2 or top 3 receiving core in the National Football League, and you're worried about if your running back is going to catch passes. No, you line up and you run the football, and that seems to be a problem. On the defensive side, okay. My defense, again, I'm only getting 2 sacks. And by the way, when I read the defensive statistics, my sacks were from my defensive backs. And one of those sacks really was a coverage sack where they had him covered and Baker Mayfield tried to run. He was tackled behind the line of scrimmage, so that actually served as really one sack. Other than that, I'm getting nothing out of DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm getting nothing out of Everson Griffin. I can't blame Aldon Smith too much. Again, he's been your most productive and most consistent player, not playing in 5 years. So I can't expect him to do too much. If you'd have asked me, a younger Aldon Smith would have made that tackle against Odell Beckham out in space like that. And that really would have, I think, had he made that play, that would have shifted the momentum all the way to the Cowboys side. But I'm not going to fault him for that. I blame the rest of the defense for not doing a damn thing. So I got 0 sacks out of DeMarcus Lawrence, nothing out of Everson Griffin. Dontari Poe is getting pushed all over the field. Antoine Woods, I don't know why he's still on the team. Yes, I said it, and here's why. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cleveland Browns ran for 307 yards. Let me say this again. 307 yards on 40 attempts. Folks, they started running back Nick Chubb was hurt in the first quarter. Bad accident. I'm a Nick Chubb guy. I remember watching him in the University of Georgia after Todd Gurley got hurt, and Nick Chubb was a damn good running back. And is a damn good running back. And he gets hurt. They put in Kareem Hunt, who led the league in rushing in 2017. So Kareem Hunt is another good running back. But in the third string running back, a guy who was on a boat catching mahi was running all over the Dallas Cowboys. And when I mean running all over them, literally running through tackles, running over them. I mean, your defensive line is getting pushed all over the field. Folks, they have a serious problem on the defensive side of the no pass rush. They can't even stop the run. So when I look at all these categories, I'm looking at a team that really ranks either last or dead last in every statistical defensive category. I believe they only have one interception this season, and that was Chidobe Awuzie. I keep mispronouncing the brother's name. And that was against the Los Angeles Rams. That really was a fluke interception. But other than that, I hardly got any sacks out of our defense. They're not stopping the run. And to be honest with you, they look awful on defense. Jalen Smith got a whole lot of money, especially based on 2018, which he played pretty at a Pro Bowl or All-Pro level. Has not been the same since. His speed is supposed to be what makes him a good linebacker, and yet he's constantly out of position. He's constantly out of space. And like I said last week against Russell Wilson is running right past him. So I don't know, him playing in the middle, if that's not his natural position, which goes to Leighton Vander Esch. Of course, he's still out. And Joe Thomas plays admirably, but again, your defense is getting run on. That's a serious problem. Now, they tried to say that these are the times that they missed Leighton Vander Esch in the run game, but they got ran on against those Rams in that playoff game where the backup, a third-string running back, they just ran all over him. So clearly, I don't know what's going on the defensive side. To be honest with you, they look much worse under Mike Nolan than they did Rod Marinelli, and this is the simple eyeball test, stats be damned. They actually look worse, and they actually brought in veterans, guys who are in the Pro Bowl, and they actually look worse. So something's going to have to be done here on the defensive side. I know there's talk, especially on Twitter, of trying to get Earl Thomas or trying to sign Eric Reed. I agree with that, but the problem goes deep in that. What I saw today, I don't think Earl Thomas or Eric Reed really would have made that big of a difference. The fact that the Browns lined up and ran on them for 300-something yards, that's a serious problem. And that means your defensive line is getting pushed around. It's been times where I'm looking at even Nick Chubb at the beginning of the game, even Kareem Hunt, 7-8 yards down the field before they even being touched. So these are some serious issues, especially on the defensive side of the football, where they had to clear some stuff up. And to be honest with you, it needs to be cleared up now because they're much worse, and they brought in some free agent additions. I don't want to hear how Gerald McCoy's hurt and how much that would have helped. You have a second-round pick in Tristan Hill, who I'm still not sold on him yet, made a play every now and again today. You have a second-round pick in Tristan Hill. You still got Dontari Poe, who's supposed to be a space eater, and he's getting shoved all over the place. Antoine Woods, he's big for nothing, and I don't even know why he's there. So this is rather concerning. That 49-38 score really doesn't indicate how that game was. Again, the Cowboys are down at one point, 41-14, after being up 14-7. So you do the math. That would be 34 unanswered points by the Cleveland Browns. Again, something Cowboys down in the game, and they launch a furious comeback only to come up short. And even if they would have won that game, I would still be saying the same thing that I'm saying now. The defense is absolutely trash. They need a complete overhaul. I give Mike McCarthy credit for making the adjustment, for getting that kid Steele out of the game, the right tackle, and putting Brandon Knight in there. The kid needs to sit down for the rest of the season, because that's 2 weeks in a row where he's had to be pulled from games. I'm sorry, brother, go sit down. But on the defensive side, there are some serious adjustments that need to be made, some serious personnel changes. And again, I know the easy thing to say is to get an Earl Thomas or Evan Reed, but look at that front seven who is being pushed around and they're getting ran on. That's a serious problem. I'm not getting any pressure. I have a defensive end making $20-something million a year, which is well-deserved money, but I don't get any sacks. I think I got maybe one tackle for a loss today out of DeMarcus Lawrence. So defense is a problem. I will not invest anything more on the offensive side, maybe another lineman, but defense, they're really the answer, because when a third string running back is running all of your defense, that's a serious problem. So this is our week 4 coverage of the Dallas Cowboys in 2020. Until the next time, it's Chin Check Radio sign out.